Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Natasha Porwal. I'm a stand-up comedian and a software developer, and my career was mostly in Tokyo. I was an engineer for a company in Tokyo, and then that's where I started my stand-up. So the whole stereotype of every engineer becoming a comedian is true.
I
'Cause
think no engineer is a comedian. All of them are boring.
I, I couldn't agree with you more. But comedy is the only thing that AI cannot take away from me just yet.
It can. We were just discussing it.
You really would pay AI
So what
to
I'll
make
do is
jokes
I'll
for you?
say write a joke as Dave Chappelle would, and then I would ask you to perform it, and you would probably kill it. Why not?
Okay, let's do that.
When's it happening?
Maybe in a month.
In a month. Yeah. You said you're looking for venues here, right?
Yep.
But you have to study the scene of
Yeah.
Indian comedy. So what's the scene like in Japan? Like, where's the humor at? What's the kind of jokes everyone really enjoys? Because different countries, they have different kind of humor. Some are racial issues, some are religion issues, some are caste issues.
Yeah. Japan. So the comedy scene, there are like so many layers to this question. Japan comedy scene is welcoming. The community is a lot more welcoming than India. Let me tell you that. Because I've gone for open mics over here, people don't really interact or mingle after the shows, and that would happen a lot in Tokyo. Like in Tokyo, after the comics were done, comics would reach out and talk to the audience, and they were a lot more friendlier, and the love and recognition I got in Tokyo was huge. Not saying there weren't politics involved, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
There were crazy politics involved, and you see a lot of different genres. Like most of them talk about, like, see, the white comedians, the white guys who are living in Tokyo for a long time, they mostly, if they have a wife, they'll joke about that. They'll joke about their life in Tokyo. It's very common. And the most punching bag of all the comedians in Tokyo is all the English teachers in Tokyo, because like a lot of people who have like zero qualification or anything other than the required career in Japan, if they don't fit into that, they become an English teacher in Japan. So I applied for an English teacher position once just because I was bored, and once I got rejected, I was like, that company rejected me. And my English teacher friends, they were like, that's like applying to McDonald's and getting rejected. But no, so like they are like the punching bags of all the jokes, and definitely all the anime culture and all. So
Yeah.
people make jokes about that.
Did they appreciate the Oppenheimer jokes?
I don't know. I've not been there for quite some time, and it's not released yet in Japan. So
Yeah, that's what. It would have been a good time to be there while the
I
movie
know.
is. But you must be having friends there, right? How are they? Are they performing these kind of jokes there?
See, I
Like how open are Japanese people to laugh at themselves?
very open,
That's
very
good.
very open.
Because I don't think Indians are that way.
Here's the thing about a lot of Japanese people. Like I've performed for a Japanese audience, and half of the time they don't get the jokes. Half of the time they'll get all to the how you send a joke to your Indian parents and then hear a lecture from them later. That's what happens with Japanese people.
So then they aren't really open to their jokes, right?
They are.
Jokes
They
on
are. Like,
themselves,
see,
rather.
I know in Japanese influencers who are comedians who have their own YouTube channel, and they like agree with me on most of the jokes I crack, and it's true. They agree with it. They know that they're center of the jokes, and they know how to take a joke.
Yeah.
They'll take a joke, but half of the time they just won't understand it. So that is an issue.
But is it because of the language barrier? Like certain nuances in English, certain punchlines which they probably won't understand?
Yes. That is there, and the culture difference is there. So, and a lot of times, a lot of Japanese speak Japlish. They'll have like an English Japanese mix, and they have like a full thick Japanese accent in their English.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to like understand them, and for them to understand us. And like that's what it was. Even like at my job, it was quite difficult because I had like accents from everywhere, like Philippines, Australia, Germany, and for me it was fine, but like my
Yeah.
Japanese colleagues understood nothing.
But was there, like, in your stand-up, was there anything where you're doing half Indian and few Japanese words and then English? Like, was it ever that way? Like how here you do Hindi, English sort of things.
No, no,
Did you
no.
ever get any Japanese words into your comedy?
No, so my content was more about my life and more about self-deprecating kind of humor.
Yeah.
So, and I made it a point to make my jokes more universal because the audience was just 20% Japanese.
Okay.
The audience was American, British, Europeans, people, India, Pakistan, people from like all over the world. So I had to cater to a larger audience,
Yeah.
which was tougher, you know. Like in India, you can just say jokes in Hindi and English and get away with it. And you know, you'll talk about the politics or something. But in Japan, there's like a wider range of culture. So crowd work, if you really want to practice crowd work, Japan's the place, Tokyo's the place, because a lot of my comedian friends, they would not like really work on their sets that as much. They would like do the same sets for years and months,
Yeah.
but their crowd work, they were and you know, like, you know, Japan, since it's an untapped market yet when it comes to comedy, they are not afraid to, you know, like I have Malaysian comics and Indonesian comics. They are not afraid to like tap into their stereotypical jokes. They lean into their stereotypes. Fuck it. They'll be like, whatever. We'll make jokes in Malaysia. We'll jokes like truly Asia jokes. We're gonna do that. And they even like dark comedians also have like a proper safe space to make their jokes, and people laugh. Like you can crack a really dark joke and people will laugh. People don't get offended over there very easily.
Okay.
Like I made some very controversial statements, as you've seen, but no one cared. Like,
Which one are you talking about? You've made plenty of controversial statements.
I think when I talk about women's issues,
Yeah.
that those jokes, and even if I make, like, gay people would come and make their jokes about their community and everything. Dark comedians.
That's good. But how accepting are they of, like, gay people? How accepting are they of jokes on themselves?
Very. I mean, so there were like shows where I went for. We would have like no bro show in that only LGBTQ community and women.
Okay.
So that was a safe space for them to like crack all these jokes. Lesbians would make their discovery jokes and all, and people laugh. People didn't like care about those things.
Yeah, because Japan, you never identify as a comedy-loving country, right? Like a fun-loving country. You think of it as technologically brilliant, lots of smart people. You don't think of them as funny people.
Yeah.
Like that, the first thing you told me was I did my stand-up in Japan. I said, that's surprising. You didn't do it here, right? You started there.
Yeah.
So
My
how
first
did
ever
how did
opening
that
was there.
like come about? You just went there, you realized, what am I doing in this foreign country? Why not just do something that I really enjoy? Or did you always have that in you? Like, were you like the funny person in your group, and then that suddenly led to you being a comedian?
More than a funny person, I didn't think I was a funny person. I still don't feel like I'm very funny. I think I always was a weirdo. People
Yeah.
always like, I never really fit in with Pune crowd.
That's
a
why
lot.
you're perfect for this podcast. It's oddballs and
Yeah,
outcasts.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, but like I was always a weirdo, and even like my friends who know me like since childhood, they're like, "You're so weird. You are just so weird." You know, these things they don't have, and maybe I exaggerate my stories. Maybe I am more dramatic than the rest of them. But in Pune, I always kind of felt out of the way, a little different, and I never really had. Even in my community, I don't have any friends from my community. So
That's a good thing.
yeah, I don't know. So when I went to Japan, I just felt more accepted, you know. It took time, don't worry. Like even Japan, like I had issues in the beginning.
Yeah.
And COVID was like very, very lonely time. Okay, so COVID like made me bored out of my mind. I had severe, like I could not sleep anymore. And that's where, you know, all my past trauma and everything like started haunting me, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, okay, there has to be a productive way to like outlet all these feelings. And during COVID, obviously comedic scenes were down. No, there were no open mics, there were no shows happening. But right when COVID was like kind of going away in 2022, around that time, there was an open mic happening, and my friend already had done one. So I was like, okay, let's go for one. My friends were like so supportive. They like got bouquets and they came with me for the, you know, for the open mic, and they were like cheering me on. And one 4 minute set kind of changed everything for me, because I thought, oh, I'll bomb, like
Yeah.
who gets a laugh like in the first try, like 4 minutes, and that too, like I made some jokes and the crowd went crazy. I couldn't, like, it was surreal. And then that's when I got more mentors and organizers interested in me. And yeah, the pap test joke that you see, that was my
Yeah.
first ever show.
That's what I told you. It didn't look like it was your first show.
No, it was like the organizer. People call her the Ice Queen. Her name is Yuki, which means snow in
Okay.
Japanese. So it is difficult to put on a show. Okay, it's very difficult. You don't see behind the scenes, and it was my first ever show, and she wanted to do a completely woman comedy show. And she heard about me through friends, and she was like, okay, let's give her 4 minutes. She didn't want to take a risk on me
Yeah.
in the beginning. And okay, I was like, yeah, whatever I'll get, I will not take this on my ego. Like, come on, she's taking a risk on me anyway. And there were like already established comedians that she had called, and it was a big show. And she was very nice to me. She met me for the first time. She saw me, and she just says, like, this was so difficult. She lost like a lot of weight. She was like depressed, and she had so much anxiety building up. And including me, a lot of comedians go through like a panic attack. I had panic attacks in my earlier shows, so it was hard. But then I started, and then people liked it, in the 4 minutes. Then that's why they gave me like 2-3 minutes extra, like, you go on, Natasha.
Yeah.
And then she still like is like, Natasha, I don't have a lot of your recordings. I wish I could get some of them, because like a lot of shows I did for her afterwards, I didn't record them. Because yeah, I've bombed, but then there were also shows that I've given to the organizers, which were really good. So I'm proud of that. And
Yeah.
that's what at the end of the day matters, because despite all the politics and the popularity rat race,
But what is this politics you keep talking about? Like, what happened?
see, the first thing that I noticed in Tokyo Comedy Circle is like people are not together as a community. A lot of organizers run their own thing.
Okay.
And it started becoming more of a popularity race. Okay, and there was a little politics. I did face a little bigotry, not too much. I was more accepted because of my talent, but there was bigotry. There were shows where only white guys used to be called. And it's not hate on anyone, of course. Keep a show with just white guys, they are funny,
Yeah.
they are doing a good job. But sometimes they would like have the same lineup again and again and again.
Wouldn't the people also get sick of it?
I don't know, people. I'm not the club owner.
Yeah.
I don't own this. I don't run the shows.
Hmm.
So yeah, they would have the same comedians come over again and again. And a lot of people did not want to take a risk on me. Like I said, they would just give me like 4 minutes. And sometimes, crowd is genuinely not a supportive crowd. You
Yeah.
can't blame anyone. Like all the 4 comics bomb, and all the 4 male comics bomb, they're still invited again. But if I bomb, I'm not invited again. It's how it is.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to like get into the whole gender specific of things. But it's there. The politics is there. People hate on me just because I'm friends with certain people or something like that. And these people don't come together. They, like Uncle Roger, he did a show in Tokyo. Do you know Uncle Roger?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did a big show hit, massive arena, big hit. I went for it, great stuff. And there were like more than 200 people for his shows. So imagine, like, there is an audience, but the audience is so bifurcated because of all these people. Like they
Yeah.
can easily manage, they can easily have massive arenas, sold out arenas for their shows, all the main ones who run the things. But it's all, they're all in their popularity rat race and everything, which is good for them, because I know at the end of the day, comedy is about glory. I get that. And that's why, because of their behavior, comedians like me are the collateral damage.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, see, a lot of people, that's what a lot of comedians forget, that comedy, okay, yeah, you're doing it for glory. Of course, you're doing it for validation. Of course, that's what it is. But at the end of the day, comedy is for entertaining people. It's for people.
Yeah.
You can't, that's why a lot of people would do the same sets. It's fine, you do you. But for months and months with the same crowd, if you're going to do that, you're not going to have a lot of crowd. So that's why a lot of my sets were always different. I kept working. That's how you deeply work on yourself. You keep, rotating your jokes. You keep bringing new jokes. Because that's what people appreciated at the end of the day. Because like I would, these many shows that where I used to not be the headliner, even though I deserved being a headliner, I was not being. And it was given to someone who was more famous or more popular. So at the end of the day, what really got me through was people would come to me after the show and they would be like, you were so much better than the headliner. You were like the best comic out of everyone. That really feels great. Because, then you realize like, okay, yeah, this is not for popularity. This is to put a good product out there. Because comedy, your sets are a product. It's your brain baby, If you put a good product out there, people are going to eventually come. So in the beginning, like there was one organizer, his shows were massively small and he believed in me somehow. And later when the shows, he somehow got a bigger and larger audience. Because people do see that, okay, they are giving something different.
Yeah.
So people are going to go. People are not stupid.
So here when you perform, what is like the scene you see yourself performing in? Like, do you see yourself on stage? Do you see yourself in a coffee store? How do you...
I see myself on a stage. I'm a stage person. All limelight has to be on me.
But here they don't have any like clubs, right?
They do.
Like exclusive comedy clubs.
Better in Mumbai, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Pune. Like they don't have any exclusive comedy club, right?
No.
Do they even have open mics? I don't think they do.
They do have open mics.
They do?
There are, yeah.
Like 1 minute, 2 minutes, those kind of things.
Yeah, the problem with a lot of open mic spaces is they try to accommodate everyone.
Yeah, of course.
Which I understand it's an open mic. But I think a lot of places should have a limit to how much performers you can call. Because I'll tell you why that is important. Because attention span, it really depends on the attention span of an audience. The audience cannot like really sit for more than an hour and a half. Like, that's also a bit much. And that would happen, like even in like Tokyo, I would see people like a lot of open mics. 14, 15 people would perform in a night. The audience would just walk out, take a little break, walk out, not come back. It gets overwhelming. You can't help it.
Yeah.
So there, they started like in like the Tokyo Comedy Bar. There is a designated spot in Tokyo.
Okay.
So they did a good thing. They did a whole registration thing, like you register in advance so that we can call you when your time's there.
Yeah.
And that's easier on the performer and the audience as well. Because then you can because performer, they might have to like wait for like a whole hour to get to perform.
Exactly. That's it.
And a lot of initial like open micers, a lot of initial performers have a lot of anxiety. So imagine sitting through that anxiety for like a whole hour. It's difficult. So yeah, I think there has to be better system, because I've heard in UK the system is a little messed up as well, because people can't comprehend that we can have our own shows, we can run our own open mics, there has to be like we can do certain systems, we can initiate certain systems to help everyone. It's very it's a new touch you have to bring in and like really assess what the problem is, and Pune comedians haven't done that yet.
So maybe you can be the first one doing
Maybe
that.
I'm a little biased because I've just seen like a few scenes yet. Maybe I've yet to form an opinion. But I know Mumbai is way better, and I think if I'll ever start doing, I'll start Mumbai.
I thought you were starting here next month. What happened to that?
I'll do a show, but for open mics, I'll go Mumbai.
Oh, for open mics there. Yeah, fair enough.
I need a little audience that can
understand it. Yeah.
I don't want an audience that will just laugh at abusive words. Like, come on, we're better than this. Come on.
Unfortunately, that's the audience you're dealing with here. You had a much more niche audience in Japan, a much more sophisticated audience rather.
Yeah. I mean, they've only bombed like twice.
I think bombing is fine. Like everyone needs that humility.
Yeah.
Like if you're only doing well, then you're just gonna think that you're the best.
Yeah, of course.
So we all need those kicks.
Yeah, we all need that, and it's just very that feeling you get, because a lot of comedians, once they bomb, if they bomb like 2-3 more times, they don't have the courage to like go back into it again. It happens. It's happened to a couple of my friends. They were like, I cannot do this again. How do you do this, Natasha? How do you get humiliated?
So you got to send me one of your bomb gigs also. I've just seen the good
I did not
ones.
record it because it was bombed.
No, but someone must have recorded it, right?
No, I don't know. No one records. Okay, first of all,
How did you get these then?
I
One of your
asked
friends?
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked
So even
someone
the
to
bombed
record.
one, they must have recorded, right? You just don't
No,
want
I
to
don't
share
think
the bad ones. I'll see you perform live,
Hopefully
and
soon.
if you bomb, then I'm going to put it all over YouTube. If you do well, then it's your content.
Of course.
But have you seen this show called Kill Tony?
No.
So do you know Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian?
I may have seen him. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's his name.
so that's he every Monday or something. I think he has a show where they have this open mic scene, and he has 4 or 5 established comedians as judges, and then they pick out random names, and those people come and they give 2 minutes of unique content each time they come, and then these people, the judges, are critiquing them, and there's a full audience and all of that. So that
Oh, the
is
pressure.
something cool.
Oh, that's the pressure.
Yeah, but that's good, right? Like
I
you,
want to go in a part like that. I think I want to go in Comic Sun. I definitely.
yeah, it's
open
something
mics
similar to
and-
Comic Con, but I feel
Yeah,
that
yeah, they
is
have-
like they know that they are performing. Like these people, some days they might go and they don't know that they're
Okay,
performing. They just
okay.
like the name's called out within 2 minutes. They have to be there. So it's that kind of pressure, right? Like last minute, you just have to be ready with your 2 minutes, and it
Yeah,
has to be
yeah.
unique each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't be overwhelmed now the same way that I used to be before.
Probably, yeah.
I think I'm a lot more confident in my own skin now.
Hmm.
Because like initially when I was doing a lot of shows, I would have major panic attacks.
Yeah, you must be
fight
wondering
before.
what should I do with my hand, how much should I walk, how should I hold the mic, all those kind of things must be coming,
No,
right?
it's just like what if the audience does not laugh? I don't care about hand, mic, I don't give a shit. The audience matters. That's the only thing that matters, you know? And yeah, I would like get these panic attacks. I could not be able to like breathe, like, and then I would be called on stage, and then had to just like put on a show.
Yeah.
And people could not tell that okay, I was nervous a second ago. You know, they were like, "Oh, you look so confident." I'm like, yeah, that's performance. I'm putting on an act for you.
But how long do you think that your set can go on now? Like, what confidence do you have to go on for like half an hour?
Easily, I think. Yeah,
Do you have unique content,
yeah,
original content half an hour worthy?
yeah, definitely.
Oh,
You've
nice.
seen it.
I've just seen bits, right? I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
8 and 9 minutes. I'm saying if you're going on for half an hour.
I definitely think if I work a little harder, 30 minutes, like 10, 15 minutes, obviously, a little
Yeah.
crowd work,
Yeah.
and then rest I can do. I've done 15-minute shows.
Okay. Well, that's going to be fun. We're going to do it next month, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to just get after you now.
Yeah.
Are there any venues you're looking at specifically?
Not at the moment, no.
None?
No. I'll talk to my friend once my life is a little more sorted in a couple of weeks.